Hey, so today I want to talk about mental health. And one of the things with mental health that I want to discuss is having a healthy mindset. So I'm talking about in this video the person that feels like you're in a rut, like you're not at your very, very lowest, but you're not at your best either. Like you're kind of in the medium and you're trying to figure out, how do I push myself from being just average to feeling like I am living my life to its potential. A lot of us, who live our lives day to day, we can find ourselves in a place where it's hard to go from, average or getting beyond what you think you're supposed to do or what you have to do to really living your life fully. So I will go into 4 steps that I feel like is important for you to listen to understand, and to practice. And then the last step will be like a bonus, and that will be something else for another time, another video. The very first thing that I would encourage you to do, and by the way, I've done all these things and I have seen the improvement in my life. Very first thing you want to do is create a vision board. Now, a vision board is something that almost sounds elementary, like an arts and crafts project in a way. At least it did to me initially. Like, do I really have to cut out pictures and I have to do all these things to make myself think of something? Like, no, you really don't have to. But it's one of those things that I don't know if you ever didn't realize what you needed until you did it, and then after you did it, you're like, oh, all this time I didn't realize how effective or how much that would have helped me. That's how I see the vision board. A visual for you to see it every single day is so powerful, and I just can't explain that. It's one of those things you just kind of have to do and go forward with to really understand how that feels. So I would strongly encourage that. It can look like whatever you want it to look like. And one thing that I did that I would recommend that you don't do is to think about how fancy it is or the bells and whistles of it. Just get you a regular piece of 8x11 paper if that's what you need to do, and just start writing things on it, and then put it up with a tack if that's what you need to do. And then over time you can just even write on it messages. It doesn't have to be too fancy and too glittery and with all the pompous. Now, you could get it to that level. That's amazing if you feel that way. But for many people who are busy and doing things day to day, you don't have time, or you don't feel like you have the time to, sit down and make it a project, which can cause you to procrastinate and not even do it. So this is actually what I did. And I in the beginning, initially, I really was like, okay, I want it to look like this because this is my vision board. It represents my goals and my dreams. I want it to look great. I just did it. I just took some stuff together and I was in a mood, and I said, okay, let me go ahead and just write out what I want. I put a few things on there, and then it's been evolving and growing, and now it's kind of nice, but it didn't start off very glittery and glamorous. So number 1, do a vision board. Number 2, have an accountability partner or a team. And this doesn't mean that you need to have someone that you speak to in a way where you share all your business with them and they have to know every detail of your life, but pretty much find people that will lift you up, that already have a positive mindset, or who might even be in a better place than you are. You want to keep that energy in your life because it's going to motivate you. It's kind of like when you go to the gym and you have a workout partner. It's kind of like when you have a teacher that you look up to, a class you may not like, but because you don't want to let down the teacher of that, then you have that relationship. I mean, the best teachers I've had have motivated me by inspiring me with their relationship versus just the content in the classroom. So I think when you have those relationships in your life, and I have seen this in my life, you are able to feel more motivated. It just naturally happens by the people you keep around you, by the company that you keep. And if you don't feel like you have someone in your life that you can talk to and check in with, I'd recommend at least once a week. Then if you have a phone, then you can find someone. What I mean by that is you can get someone that's a motivational speaker. You can get someone that's an Oprah, a Gary Vee, a Will Smith, whoever, the president, the past president, whoever motivates you, find it. Find that person that makes you feel good about your life and makes you feel like you want to get up and do it constantly. Because you need to have that type of positive energy and positive reminders, and you need to make that an intentional point to do. The third thing that I can think of that has really helped me is to cut out. So cut out toxic people, toxic places. The same way you add people to your life, or you're intentional about keeping people in your life that are positive, that are thinking about your best interests, that are already doing things in their life showing that they think a certain way, is the same way that you need to take out people that are not good for you. You can simply go through your phone, delete. I mean, those people that you don't talk to very often, or those people that you feel are just simply negative, if you want to do a last call and get closure first, or see if you can do that too, but you need to in some way kind of filter through your phone and go through it, and people that you know that are not good for you, if you have them in your phone, delete them. Go through your social media accounts. Decide who you want to unfollow. Decide who you want to unfriend. If you need to block a few people, do it. Like, you have to filter these people out of your life if they're present, because all that's going to do is, once you get to a certain level, you can work very hard, but then that interaction can just take you backwards. And that's why you'll see people often, people that are very successful go backwards after acquiring much success, because they kept certain things in their lives and they didn't have that boundary to go ahead and have the strength to continue to move forward. And some of it's more complicated than that. Of course, you have other factors, mental illness and other things, but sometimes it is preventable, and you can have some type of control over your circumstances. And I refuse to believe that it's completely just like, oh, well, it just happens because no, you can do something about it to a point. So yes, cut out people in your life that are toxic, no matter who it is. So don't be afraid if it's your family, if it's someone that you know for a long time that at one point did so much for you, and you're just, no, you've got to do that. And it's for yourself, and it's for your own well-being. And then if you can't do that, let's say you have a job and you have a coworker, or the person is someone in your family, and you really cannot avoid them or just cut them off completely, then limit it. Instead of talking to them, every morning when you get to work, and you have a long conversation, talk to them about work only. Keep it at that level. You don't have to give them any more information. They'll catch on. If it's somebody in your family, then limit that time with them. You don't have to completely go off and not do any contact. The less, the better. But if you absolutely feel like it's inevitable, then limit it. And then the last point for the way you're thinking is so beautiful. Every morning, have gratitude. Now, you can keep a journal, you can read something, you can just think of something when you get up in the morning. Whatever it is, just remind yourself to be grateful for at least one thing every single morning. If you do this at the moment you wake up, the very first thing, it is life-changing. It is life-changing, because what it does is it conditions your mind. It conditions your mind to think positive, and it gets easier and easier and easier the more and more you do it. Now, at least one thing, if you want to go further and take it further, go ahead and do that. And it doesn't have to be anything big. It can be simply things that are small, you take for granted every day. Clean water. So just do those 4 things and practice those 4 things. Have a vision board, have accountability. Make sure that you cut out toxic people and places, or at least limit them, and then have a constant spirit of gratitude first thing. And some people say, oh, I have different times when I do things. I understand that. If it's like something that takes more time, perhaps maybe meditation, or, even going to the gym or prayer, like that's so flexible. But I'm thinking just on a very simple level, think about at least one thing you're grateful for first thing in the day. And in some way, journal it, think about it, put that in your life, and that needs to be the first thing you do. So that is the way that I found myself continuing to be in a healthy place and in a healthy mindset. And then this is the bonus tip, and this is the tip that is a whole different topic, but it's still really important. You need to make sure that you are taking action. Like, once you build yourself up in this mindset and you're ready and you feel like you've done all this work, and now it's time to take action, because faith without work is dead. Like, you need to make sure that you're doing things to push you forward, and it's not all in your head and all in your heart. There has to be some type of progression there. And if you're not progressing, then it won't motivate you to continue to go and have that mindset. So thank you so much for watching the video. If you have any comments or any things that you want to talk about or ideas about how you deal with a healthy mindset, please let me know below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.